Hello, YouTube. I want to talk to you today about what I think is the perfect portable power station or solar generator in 2023. Now, I'm not talking about people that are trying to run their whole house off of a power station, which is kind of ridiculous. I'm not talking about people that think that they can run an air conditioner off of it or a heater off of it. You obviously haven't done enough research. I'm talking about the average people that need a power station for short-term power outages or for fun while camping. So the winner is the Pecron E600 LFP. And I will demonstrate next to two of its rivals, I guess you could say, power stations that are cheap, that people buy a lot, and they're actually good, but they're just not good enough this year. So you have the GoLabs R300, super popular. You have the EB3A from Bluetti. These are all three LFP battery chemistry, the lithium iron phosphate with a lot more charges and discharge cycles than standard lithium. There's the screen on GoLabs, screen on the Bluetti, and the screen on the Pecron. Now the GoLabs is popular, I think, mostly for its price point. It's usually around $200. Sometimes there's a $20 off coupon on that. And this is a 300 watt output for AC. So it has lots of DC ports, etc. Sorry, the heater came on, had to turn it off. The EB3A is popular from Bluetti, also from a price standpoint. It has a 600 watt inverter, means it can power items up to 600 watts. And Bluetti has their power lifting mode, which lowers the voltage to try to keep the amps up. So on some limited items, like hot plates or something, it could maybe run something out of its ability. It's something over 600 watts, but it's really not good to use them because they can mess up electronics. And then for not much more size, you have the Pecron E600 LFP. And it is actually 1200 watts inverter on that. Also, you talk about battery size. The GoLabs is 299 watt hours. The EB3A is 268 watt hours. And the Pecron E600 LFP is 614 watt hours. What does that mean? What's a watt hour? Well, however many watts something takes, if you win an hour, it takes that many watt hours. So basically that's like your fuel capacity. So if you had something that was running at 614 watts, it would last an hour on here. I don't know, 20-25 minutes on either one of these. So basically that's what that means, if you don't already know. All right, a lot of these power station companies, especially when you get to the bigger ones, they're trying to charge like $1 a watt hour, especially when they bring something out new, and that gets expensive. So people look out for deals and companies that'll sell them for less than that. So the EB3A here is, I know they listed it at $299 or something, but it's always at $209. You always find it at $209. And so that comes out to 78 cents a watt hour. for the battery. So that's good. The Go Labs is got a little bit bigger battery. It's a little bit cheaper unit. Normally it's around $200. Sometimes there's a coupon you see. This one comes out to about 67 cents a watt hour. Although right now, for Amazon Prime members, I think I saw it for $150, which comes out to 50 cents a watt hour. That's pretty cheap if you could live with only 300 watts of power, which won't do much. The Pecron E600 LFP is, the screen does dim after a while. You just click it and it'll come back. It is listed at $299. There's a lot of YouTubers that had some 5% discount codes. One of them was Reway Outdoors. And his discount code was this one, Rewe 600 LFP. So you got 5% off of the $299, which made it $284.05. No tax, no shipping, direct from Pecron. 46 cents a watt hour. 46 cents a watt hour. And that's why this is going to win this year. $285, basically. Even if you didn't have a code, $299. Okay? And I'm going to show you why this wins number one. Even though the price should win, I'm going to show you why it really wins. Stay tuned. Alright, so let's say you have a temporary emergency or you want to go camping. You might want to run some appliances. These can all charge cell phones, USB ports, they got cigarette lighter plugs, and they all do a good job. And if that's all you care about is charging DC things, then these are fine. These are good. If you might need to run something more, well then that's where this one shines. Okay. So for some reason, most small power stations are limited to 200 watts max solar power charging. This one's only limited to 60 watts solar input. The Pecron here is 400 watts. It can take in solar. So that helps out a lot if you're outputting a lot, because you can be bringing in solar while you're using it. So let's say, I don't know, I got off track. Let's say you have a blackout, a power outage, or you're going camping in your camper or RV or your tiny home, or you're a van lifer, you know, some other kind of cool person, whatever. And you want to run a few things. So we're going to try running a few things. We have a dorm fridge, freezer. We have a hot plate. We have a smaller microwave. We have an electric kettle. We have a coffee pot. It's a small one. Tried to sneak out the big one. Wife grabbed a stick. We're not going to go there. We have an electric skillet. We even have an Instapot. If you don't have an Instapot, you don't know what you're missing. All right, so let's try a few things. All right, so a lot of smaller power stations won't run this stuff, any of this stuff. I don't care what they say or what kind of power saving boost mode or whatever else they have. Their boost mode is not a beast mode. It'll kind of act like it's running stuff, but it really doesn't. It takes a lot longer to work. Things don't really get hot, and they don't really work. And it's a gimmick, and it doesn't really work. So you actually need a power station that actually got some guts to it. And this one is very small for the power output it has. It's only 20 pounds. You know, some power stations are 60 plus pounds. They don't tell you that. They're not proud of that. They don't tell you that. I'm proud of that. They don't tell you how heavy they are. All right, so we got water in here. We got a light, so we're on. All right, look how much juice we're pulling. 664 watts, okay? So, no way the smaller power stations will run this. You might could get by on that Bluetti with its power lifting feature, but it takes longer because it's like artificially lowering the voltage in order to keep the amps up, and it doesn't get as hot. It'll run through there, but it won't be as hot. Like you can make a heater seem like it's working, but it'll barely be working. All right, so we don't really care about this whole thing here. So we saw it working. You can still see it working. So we're gonna, oh yeah, it has a little power gauge too. It's kind of cool. Let me brighten it up. Yeah, a little power gauge. Just in case you forget how much you got and how much you're using. There you go. You got a little speedometer gauge, 50%. You're about halfway there. You can run 2 of these. All right, so I'm gonna let this do its thing, and we're gonna move along. And I'm not gonna bother showing you this electric kettle because I already know it pulls 625 watts. And the only way you can get it to run on the Bluetti is if you put it in powerlifting mode. And then it starts acting kind of weird because of the electronics in here. It starts acting weird. And the Go Labs, there ain't no way it'll run it. All right, we're gonna try something else. All right, now there are some microwaves vary by how much power they take. Most of them take a lot more than what you think. You know, just because they say how many watts of power output it is, doesn't how much power it consumes. I got one in the other garage. It takes as much as a space heater. I mean, it's a huge microwave. This one's smaller. I don't remember what kind of power this takes, but we're gonna find out together if it can run this smaller microwave. Okay, you see how big it is? It's a, you know, it ain't a Barbie microwave, and it's on high. Just got spiked up. Over 1,000 watts, almost 1,100 watts. But since we're rated at 1,200, ain't no thing. Chicken wing, heat up my hot cocoa. If you ain't doing that on one of those other small ones, you ain't gonna do that on some on some of those new Bluettis either that are only 1,000 watts. So something to think about. It might be all cool, but if it's 1,000 watts, it ain't gonna cut it unless you do one of those weird little step down things they got, and don't recommend using those ever. All right, moving on. All right, how about a hot plate? You know, you camping, you van lifing, whatever. Your wife kicks you out and you're living in your shed. Right, that's what I heard. Anyway, so we got that plugged in here. I guess this is adjustable, so we'll start on low, see what happens. I mean, it's only got one speed. It's already over 1,000. Let's crank it. Let's crank it all the way. I guess that doesn't really work that way. Anyway, it's just under 1,000. So, you know, you need to have a power station that can handle your needs. All right, well, phew. That's all for that one. All right, so I just plugged in the little dorm fridge with freezer, and it is not pulling much. And you see the estimated time here. That's if it was to pull the same amount constantly, which refrigerators do not, because they have compressors. When they come up to temperature, you know, they shut off. It'll sit there for a while and maybe come on for 5 minutes every once in a while or something. And they won't pull this kind of wattage constantly. So you'll get a lot more than 3 hours out of it. A lot more. Something to think about. Alright. Shut her down. Alright, here's one nobody uses anymore. Old electric skillet. And according to the sticker on the bottom, this thing will do 1,500 watts. But it has an adjustable dial, so I'm thinking we can get some temperature out of it without overloading. So turn it on warm. We're already over our max. But maybe this is like the skillet, the hot plate over there. Let's turn it up. I'll simmer. Yeah, see, it's the temperatures not really affecting that. Let's go 250. It's not changing it. Still running it, even though it's technically it's over 1200. It's all right with it. Hell, let's turn it up 350. It didn't change anything. So this is like that skillet over there. Temperature thing is like a thermostat. Apparently, it only has one actual heating temperature. And then that's like a thermostat that cycles it on and off. So even though the bottom says it takes 1500 watts, it's not taking 1500 watts. That's a hell of a lot more than that EB3A will do, or that Go Labs. And it's running it fine, even though technically it's a little bit over it. Now the fan's not even coming on at this point. It's not even struggling. Sure, it will come on, but it says we're maxed out. You won't run anything else with it, but we're good. All right, let's try something else. All right, this is an Instant Pot. It's kind of like a pressurized crock pot. They're awesome. You can take dried beans to ready in half an hour. They save a lot of power. This is a small one. 730 some watts. This is the smallest one they make. Still pretty good. I don't think the bigger ones take that much more power. But you got a lot of digital things here, so you want to have an actual power station that doesn't need some kind of trickery to get you the power to stay on. And this flicky stuff is just a camera. It's not doing that in real life. All right, I'm going to turn this thing off for a cook nothing. All right, well, it passed all that with flying colors. The other one, smaller units won't. Little case there is what it comes with all the wires and stuff. I will be showing you the solar connections, and I might have to splice that into this video because it's not very bright and sunny out today, but I'll check it out anyway. But these are made for little things, This covers all your bases on emergencies: fridge, heat, microwave, coffee, breakfast, cook something for the folks, whatever. They're not really made for AC and heat, but somebody always wants to know. So since I'm out here in the shop and there's this crappy AC over there, that's a 6,000 BTU, and it's a crappy old AC. I'm gonna plug it in here and see what happens. Probably nothing good's gonna happen. It's probably not gonna work, but let's try it. I don't even know if that AC works. Oh. Alright. Holy crap. What the heck? Let's try to do something. It's kind of cold outside. I don't know if it will come on. I'll pause it until it comes on, if it comes on. Alright, well, the compressor's not going to come on. It's just too cold outside and in here. So, we'll move along. And just for people that really want to know, this is not recommended. This is going to kill your battery in no time flat. Will it run a space heater? You're out there. You'll want to know. So, put it on low. Yeah, it's hot. Well, look how much power you're pulling. on low. I'm gonna run half an hour and be dead. I'm gonna click it on high real quick and then see, watch it overload. See? Space heaters pull a lot of power. If you're planning to get a power station to run a space heater, you're not planning right. Because that shouldn't be your plan. You need a better plan. But anyway, this will run all your basic kitchen appliances, your needs, and take it camping. It only weighs 20 pounds. You could run almost everything you need, I would say. It'll charge with 400 watts of solar. So we're gonna see if we can check any of that out. Hold on. Okay, so this is my Renogy system. It charges this big old battery. So it has 200 watt Renogy panels on the roof. They're in parallel, meaning that it's at 10 amps and about 20 volts, probably around 18 or 19, because they're old. They're like 9-year-old panels. And you'll see here that it shows 12 to 18 volts on this jack and 32 to 95 volts on that jack. So basically neither one of those are in the parameters, but those numbers lie. Those numbers are like the recommended numbers. They don't actually lie, and I'm going to show you. Well, I'm going to show you. You'll see. Alright, so this jack here can be used for up to 100 watts input. It's really intended to be charged off the car, and it comes with a car charger. It does not come with this solar cable here. So basically this is the one from the Go Labs, which is a 5521, same as this. So I'm gonna plug her in. Comes on automatically, and the charge controller on this thing, it's a little slow. It takes a minute to figure out what it wants to do, what's coming in, and it's not an awesome bright day. The sun just now finally peeked out for a second. Alright. Alright, it takes way longer than what you wish it would. It's finally charging. And even though there's 200 watts on the roof, you ain't gonna get 200 watts. These panels are old, and it's November, mid-November, and the sun's barely shining. So overcast today. So it's slowly building up. The charge controller takes its time on this unit. It's weird. To the MPPT charge controller. So it looks like that's going to be about max with the sunshine off of that 100 watt max input. So now we'll try the other one. And like I said, the voltage is not correct for either one of these to work. So give me a second. Okay, so now, and I got fuses on here too, so that messes with the computer a little bit. Alright, so now I got the other one plugged in to the bigger one here that says it needs at least 32 volts to charge. And I do not have 32 volts on here. I have 20, but realistically it's more like 18 to 19. And I'll show you that even with today's crappy weather that it will start charging in a minute. Alright, take it a second to think about it. And this setup here is just to charge this 200 amp hour AGM battery to run some lights at night So it's not a great system. It doesn't have to be. It's old, and it puts more than enough power in these batteries all day. It puts about 2 kilowatts in this battery every day. So I don't expect much out of it. I'm just trying to show that if you have like one folding panel or something, you can probably get it to work. You know what? Hold that thought. It's actually getting only 56 watts right now, the way the sun is and whatnot. Alright, I got 2 more things to do. Okay, what if you only got one solar panel? What if you only got one folding solar panel? This is a Bluetti PV120. It's listed at 24 volt VOC, which means that it's too much for the top port and not high enough for the bottom port. Now the sun's not great, but I'm going to demonstrate that even if you only got one panel, you don't really need to worry about this. So give it a minute here and it'll start. And it is not a bright, sunny, glorious day. It's crapola, but that's not the point of this test today. It's to get maximum wattage. The point of this test is to show you that it does work. You can use one solar panel, even though the voltage doesn't fit the recommended parameters, and it does work. And the sun is crap right now. I wish I could get you better results, but that's what I have to work with. All right, now we're going to use the other port. It says it needs 30 something. There's not even enough sun to make a shadow out here. And I got it in the port that says it needs 32 volts. And still charging. It's so dark I can barely see my screen. But it is getting power in, even though it's so dark out here. But I just wanted to show that it will work, even though your power requirements are not what it shows. All right, this is my EcoFlow station that runs my deep freezer in my fridge in the garage. And you can see it's getting 84 watts from solar. So I'm gonna steal its solar for a second. All right, now I can't do this one with the lower voltage one because I know that this is 40 volts at 15 amps. It's over paneled at 600 watts. Well, we'll see if we can get anything, because like I said, there's like no sun out there right now. All right, slowly coming online. He likes it. And I wish the sun was out so I could show you guys better charging, maybe in another video. But there you go, for the money, less than 300 bucks. I think this is the best system of 2023. It'll do the majority of what you need, whether you're a van lifer, a camper, or someone who just needs to run a CPAP machine through the night or run a few things during a blackout or power outage. You can pump enough solar in it to keep it going during the day, and other than heaters and air conditioners, it'll run just fine. Alright, one last thing I'll try. If it doesn't work, I guess I won't add it to the video. 5,000 BTU AC. Bam. It's running. You'll run it for like 1.23 hours. Not really intended for this. But if it was summertime and you were hot and you had a lot of sun and you were pulling in 400 watts of solar, you'd be running this for free during the hottest part of the day. Alright, that's all we got. Please like and subscribe. That's what I told my wife. She said, "What are you doing? Taking all those appliances out to the shed?" I said, "Like and subscribe, you'll find out." See ya.